Hey guys, what is going on? Coach Sam here. I've got another video thrown up for you guys. We got Christian Yelich today. He is obviously killing it, an MVP candidate, MVP last year. Just on an absolute tear right now. But anyways, today I want to talk about just one particular segment of our swing. This is a very important part, so you guys want to stay tuned. You want to take notes. There's a couple of key points you want to write down and really try to implement into your swing, okay? So what we've got our positive move or our linear move, whatever you want to call it, okay? That's just simply our step or our movement towards the pitcher, okay? Whatever you call it, keep terminology consistent with your coaches and your teammates and your friends and your parents, just so you don't get confused, all right? Just understand that everyone has a little different way of terming things. Just make sure everyone is on the same page as far as terminology goes, okay? But there's two big things you want to keep in mind with this move. This move generates the energy to swing the bat, right? So it generates the direction and it generates the momentum for your swing. The direction is towards the pitcher, right? You're moving towards the pitcher. He's coming towards you, you're moving towards him. The momentum is the energy you're building up for your swing, right? So a lot of times you see amateur coaches, they say, oh, don't stride or don't transfer and don't, do all these crazy things. You want to move your body. You want to create momentum, and you want to create the direction towards the pitcher. But anyways, let's jump into this thing. I've got my my marker pulled up, so I'm going to make some marks on this thing so you guys can see. Okay, so very first thing is we have his head. There's his head positioning. So big misconception. I press play. A big misconception is your head does not move. So his head started way back here, and his head moved forward, and it moved down. Okay, so wherever your head goes, your body follows. You definitely want to move your head forward. Head stays out in front of his belly button, right? There's his center mass. Head slightly out in front of his belly button. And for those of you that saw the last video, shoulders are going slightly downhill. It's just called an attack posture. So he's moving towards the pitcher. He's putting himself almost in a tug-of-war position. If you guys ever played tug-of-war, your head is over your belly button. It's over your center mass as you're trying to pull in the opposite direction. Okay? The big thing here is this X factor. So as this front foot or front leg goes forward, his hands stay back, right? Some coaches will say they pull back. Some will say they stay back. Anyways, it's this lower half of his body working with the opposite side of his upper half, and vice versa. It's no different than if you were running, right? And your left foot was forward, your right arm would be forward, and vice versa. If your right arm was forward, your left leg would be forward, and if your left arm was forward, your right leg would be forward. Okay? Hope I said that correctly. I think I did. But anyways, again, we're creating direction and we're creating momentum. So head moves forward, shoulders are slightly downhill, head is out in front of my belly button. For Yelich, he's a right-handed hitter. So as his right leg moves forward, his left arm, his left hand stays back. Okay? Just creating resistance. It's called the X factor. Opposite arm with opposite leg. Guys, I just want to throw up a number real quick, right? The average stride of a major league hitter is 6 miles an hour. Okay? Very slow, 6 miles an hour. And if I take a 190-pound player, move him forward at 6 miles an hour, plus all of the energy that he generates with his strength and his quickness and everything built up through his mechanics, it's going to be a big explosion, okay? Now, you say, okay, Sam, what if someone doesn't stride? Well, that's okay if someone doesn't stride. If someone does not stride, they start out with a wide base. Pujols literally just picks it up and puts it back down with his front foot. Or Goldschmidt literally just does something similar where he just picks up his front heel and moves forward. These hips have got to move forward. If they stay back, all your weight's going to stay back and you're going to just swing. You're going to spin with your upper half and you're not going to generate much energy at all. Okay? So your stride, your positive move is determined by your stance. So if you're like Yelich, if I take him back, who has a little bit of a leg kick and he pinches that front knee in, he's going to have a further distance to go than someone like Pujols or Goldschmidt, who literally starts a little more spread out. Okay? But the fundamentals remain the same. Head has to move forward and remain in front of your belly button. Hips have to transfer forward. Your hips aren't going to stay back. Your weight's not going to stay back. You're going to transfer into that front leg. Now, once we get into a further video, and once I play this in full speed, you're going to see all of his weight transfers into his front side. But this is where it starts with your positive move. So you load up all your energy onto this back leg, and you're going to push from the inside of that back foot. And that front knee is going to push forward, down into the ground. It's going to push forward into the ground. Okay? So hands stay back. Lower half moves forward, head stays forward, so you're creating resistance with your upper half and lower half, right? Lower half's moving forward, upper half is resisting. That's building up energy. That's the analogy of stretching a rubber band, right? If I tied a rubber band from your foot to your hands, as you take a stride forward, that rubber band should expand. That's an analogy a lot of coaches use. If you've never heard it before, it's a good one to keep in mind. As you're working on your swing, you're trying to stretch that rubber band out as you take a step forward. Okay? Head does move. Don't let your coaches tell you your head doesn't move. It does move. There's a time for it to move, and there's a time for it to stay still. The time for it to move is this move right here, this positive move. When it stays still is when you get into rotation, which I'll get into another video, right? But it wants to move forward. Wherever your head goes, your body will follow. If your head stays back, your weight's going to stay back. You're not going to generate any energy, okay? So don't let any crazy coaches tell you got to stay back, keep your weight back. Your head's got to move forward, guys. The true definition of staying back is staying inside of that front leg, which I'll get into in another video, okay? Just keep in mind your head wants to move forward. It's just like throwing. You throw a baseball, you move everything forward. You're literally throwing the barrel of the bat at the ball, so you've got to move everything forward. But I'll play it a couple times through so you guys can see, and I'll go over a couple of key points. The big two words you guys got to keep in mind is direction and momentum. Direction towards the pitcher. You're building up the momentum. You're building up the energy for your swing. Here we go. I'll play it a couple times through. I'll go over a couple more key points. If you like the video, like, subscribe to the page. We're posting new stuff all the time. I wish you guys nothing but the best of luck. I love you guys. Go kill it. Here we go. Here's a finish of the video. He moves forward. You guys can see his head moves forward, right? He loads up onto this back leg. His head starts way back here. It stays in front of his belly button. So he's putting himself in a tug of war position. His shoulders are going slightly downhill. His head's moving down. His legs are sinking down in that back hip, right? His hands are staying back. So he's creating a stretch between that front leg and that back arm, okay, which is going to be the stretching of that rubber band. Then obviously he just has the beautiful rest of his swing. So the key points: direction, momentum, hands stay back as your lower half goes forward. You want to push off the inside of that back leg, and relationship between your head and the rest of your body. So your head stays out in front of your belly button until you get into rotation. I know I talk fast, guys. Take notes. I'll put some information in the description below. Go get it. Like the page. Subscribe to the page. I've got more great videos coming to you soon.